Homage to the Triple Gem, homage to Bhante ji here, and dear listeners, welcome to this Sunday Dhamma program. Today, I would like to share a story, an incident which happened during the time of the Buddha. So this story is about a girl who meditated on death. We have a meditation in Buddha's teaching, that is meditation on death, Marananusati, we called it in Pali. So this incident is like this. When the Buddha was residing in Alavi, one of the old cities, old Janapadas, towns, during the time of the Buddha. So when the Buddha arrived in Alavi and he was invited there in Alavi, so the people of Alavi were gathered and were happy to have the Buddha among them, and they have arranged food for the Buddha, and they requested, they were there for listening Dhamma from the Buddha. Then the Buddha taught a Dhamma talk on meditation about death, Marananusati meditation. Then the Buddha spoke there in Marananusati meditation. Buddha said, the death is certain thing. Life itself is uncertain. When we die, we cannot say. It is uncertain. But one day we will die. That is certain. We know that one day we can die. But most of us in the world, people are struggling to earn their life. They forget this truth that death is certain. So when they are about to die, they fear of death because they never meditated or contemplated on this reality of death. When a person contemplates on death, he can be very happier, and when he will die or before his death, he will have easiness in his mind. And by practicing this meditation, surely he will land in the plains of Sugati, happily world. By the power of this meditation, he will land somewhere where there is a lot of happiness. And when a person meditates on this meditation on death, then he can also penetrate this reality further and deeper. He will experience that this body, the death, the natural phenomena is not in my control. This is not subject of my will. And this is how a person can experience non-self according to the Buddha's teaching. When a person experiences non-self in this body and mind, then this person can also be transformed into the enlightened being. By practicing this meditation, he gradually improve his meditation, improve his wisdom, and can penetrate these things as non-self. Then he can be an enlightened being. This is how the Lord Buddha talking about Marananusati meditation on death, And when a person contemplates this meditation, then surely he can understand impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Now, when a person understands these three, then surely he can attain enlightenment. That is what the Buddha have said. These are the factor of wisdom, mental faculty, we called it, in wisdom faculty, we called in Pali language. So when this wisdom faculty is fulfilled, then a person can surely be an enlightened being. So this is how the Buddha was giving this talk on death meditation. So there were large assembly. In that assembly, many people were listening. And among these people, there were a girl who was listening so attentively, so carefully to the Buddha. And she took this practice very seriously and she meditated on Marananusati. But rest of the people who were in the assembly were listening this Dhamma talk. After listening, they went back to their normal jobs, normal responsibilities, and they have forgotten this meditation and they engage themselves in their day-to-day activities. So they were not, they haven't practiced this Marananusati meditation, but this girl, young girl, took this meditation very seriously and have practiced very attentively, very mindfully, and she had also some deeper insights through this Marananusati meditation. So after giving this Dhamma talk on death meditation, Buddha came back to the Shravasti in Jetavana monastery. So Buddha had spent some days in Shravasti meditation, and he said in Mahakaruna Samapati, normally the Buddha used to scan the world to whom he can help, and he could see that girl who heard Buddha's teaching on death meditation. The Buddha saw that the girl had fulfilled wisdom faculty. She has meditated on Marananusati. Now she is about to be an enlightened person. So Buddha was in Jetavana monastery and he went along with 500 monks to the Alavi. When the Buddha arrived in Alavi, the people were there, saw the Buddha, and they gathered together and they have arranged again this dana, and they assembled to listen Dhamma talk from the Buddha. But Buddha was waiting for that girl. In his meditation, he saw that girl who was ready to become an enlightened being. And he could see that that girl is not in that assembly. So he again saw, and he could see that she was with his father, and her father given him some work, as he was the weaver. And her father said, you have to go to that weaver house and you have to do some work. That work is, you have to do it immediately. So that work was also an important work. So when she heard that Buddha was here in the Alavi, have arrived and about to give this Dhamma talk, so she was willing to attend that program to listen Buddha's teaching, but she could not. But she went, as she has to follow her father's advice to go to the weaver house and do some work. So somehow she did it so quick, so fast, and she returned and attend this Dhamma talk of the Buddha. Then she could see the Buddha from a small place, and Buddha was also gazing on her. And That girl understood, yes, Buddha is watching her. She approached near to the Buddha and paid homage to the Buddha. Then the Buddha asks few very interesting question to her. For the people who were listening this Dhamma talk, the Buddha asks a few questions. So those questions are very interesting. Please listen carefully. Buddha asked, well, young Upasika, where have you come from? So this was the first question from the Buddha. And that girl answered, I don't know, Lord. Then second question Buddha asked, where are you going? Then the girl answered, I don't know, Lord. In third question Buddha asks, don't you know? Then girl replied, yes, I know, Lord. Then again Buddha asked the question, do you know? Then girl replied, I don't know, Lord. So what is the meaning of these questions? Then the Buddha asks, the people were very surprised. They thought how she doesn't know how to treat Buddha, how to reply Buddha. So the Buddha asked to again her to explain these questions. So what is the meaning of these questions? She said, when she was asked where she came, she said, Lord, you know that I have come from home. By your question, you mean that to ask me from what past life I have come here. So I answered, I don't know. As in first question, Buddha asks, where have you come from? So Buddha asks that from what past life you have come here. So that was the intention of the Buddha to get the answer for the benefit of many who were listening this Dhamma talk. Then the Buddha said, as he asked the second question, where are you going? Which means, in future, where are you going? Where are you going? Like what life you will take? What will be your life? So that was the meaning. So she replied, that girl replied, I don't know, Lord. In third question, as you know, that Buddha said, don't you know? So she replied, yes, I know. Which means, don't you know means, don't you know that one day you will die? The date will come. So she said, yes, I know, Lord. One day, death will come. I will die. I have to die. Then the last question which Buddha asks is, do you know? Then that girl answered, I don't know, Lord. Which means, I don't know when date will come, when I will die. That is why she replied to the Buddha that I don't know in the last question. After this, the Buddha uttered a very beautiful words in Pali language, a gatha, a poem in Pali. So it is like that. I will recite in Pali and then I will tell the meaning. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa andhabhuto ayam loko tanuketha vipassati sakunto jalamutto va appo saggaya gacchati. So the meaning is, blind is this world. Here only a few possesses inside. Only a few, like birds escaping from a net, go to the realms of bliss. A very few, which means we can understand a very few people are with the eyes of wisdom, like bird who caught into the trap, and very few of them can escape from the net, from the trap. So those who possesses with the insight, with the wisdom, those beings only can escape from this world and go to the nibbanic state, bliss, happy state. And most of the beings who are not possesses with the wisdom, they are still in the trap of this world, because they cannot see the reality. So after hearing this verse from the Buddha, that girl became an enlightened being. She transformed into enlightened person. And then she went back to her father, the weaver house, where they used to weave, they used to do some work for clothes. And her father was sleeping. Accidentally, this girl suddenly, she passed away. And she reborn in some Devalokas, in the plans of Devaloka. And her father was very sad, and he was very shocked, and he thought that no one can save me except the Tathagata, the Buddha, the Blessed One. Let me approach to the Buddha. And he went to the Buddha and he asked, he said, whatever happened, his daughter is passed away and he is not happy. So the Buddha said, this is the nature of the world. Death after birth, birth after death. This is a stream. This is the stream. Death lead to the birth. And again, that birth lead to the death. This is the natural phenomena which occurred, which keep on occurring. So you have to understand the Buddha. The Buddha gave him advice, and this is how he become calm and quiet, and he understood the Buddha's advice, and he also asked Buddha to give him ordination, monk ordination, and he became a monk under the Buddha, and he practiced meditation very sincerely, and no longer he also became an enlightened being, Arhanta. So after preaching that girl, yes, that girl also became an enlightened being. Later her father also ordained as a monk, and her father became an enlightened person. But those who were listening this Dhamma talk were also greatly benefited by this Dhamma talk. So this is the teachings of the Buddha on death. We should accept death. We can also contemplate on death. Many great persons have born in this land. Many kings, many great kings, many emperors, but none of them alive still. They have passed away. Nothing they have taken along with them. They have left everything. So the great person were subjected to death. We are also subject to death. One day we have to go. When a person thinks like this, they can stay calmly. They will give up anger, upset, ill will easily, if a person contemplate like this. So in one of the Gatha from Dhammapada, as Buddha said, he said in Pali language, he said, those who contemplate that one day I will pass away. Those person can appease their anger, can make their anger calm, and they can live peacefully. If a person who don't think, who don't reflect that one day I will pass away, I have to go from this world, their anger will not be appeased. Their anger will not be calm. Then they keep on thinking on that someone have hard, someone make them harm, or someone abuse them. They keep on thinking like this. They cannot forgive. If they reflect that, yes, one day I will also pass away, they can let go that ego. So the Buddha asks every one of us to contemplate on death, and we can be at peace. And when death comes, we can face it very peacefully, without fear. So with this small Dhamma talk, I conclude here. I wish you very good health, peace of mind. May you progress on the path of Dhamma. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
One of the girl here became enlightened now after listening, like that girl in the story. So it's a very that I think that girl was some 16, 17-year-old, maybe. She was very young. Right? In Buddha's time, some of the people just 7-year-old, as young as 7, is to become enlightened, right? So, like becoming enlightened is not like a title, but it's a process where your mind undergoes for full spiritual transformation. It's a huge transformation, okay, where you are totally free from all kinds of bondages, negativity, suffering, all these things that Bhante just now mentioned. You're free, right? So, very important reflection. It's a meditation also. Today we did metta meditation or breath meditation, but there is also this, death meditation. So you can actually meditate on death. It's very powerful. It's not really like a negative kind of thing. Don't take it negatively, saying, "Oh, why we should think about death? It's a very bad thing. Don't talk about death." People don't like to talk, right? But that's the reality. That's what we have to go in. And it's not just about the fact that we are going to die, but it helps us to become free from all the negativity. As Bhante mentioned about anger, hatred, jealousy, all those kind of things, right? So that's the power that it has. You see, when someone dies, then we generally don't talk bad about them, right? You say, "Oh, he was a great person. Oh, he did this, he did that." That's the time all our love, all our love starts flowing out, right? Very deeply. We really miss them when they die, right? But then when they're alive, we don't care. Oh, we don't even know the person exists. Especially if it's your family member, right? You take them so granted and you take them so lightly, right? But if they die, then you will of course remember them very fondly. You want to remember all the good things, and you generally don't like to talk bad about them when they are dead, right? When they are no more. So it's a very powerful one. So you can just meditate, maybe after a few minutes of breath meditation, you can just say, oh, I am subject to death. I'm not free from death. I'm going to die one day. I am, subject to sickness. I may get sick and die, And then you can also bring in some of your near and dear people, like parent, siblings and friends, and relatives, and some of the close people. So you can actually also kind of imagine, not reflect. Basically, you can say, "Oh, she will also die. He will also die." It's not like you're wishing them to die. Okay, you don't wish. In Maitri, you wish them, right? But when it comes to death, you just basically remind yourself about death, because our ignorance is so strong that we think we are going to be forever, right? We don't even think about death, do we? We don't, right? Even when we go to some funeral, we are there for some time, and maybe, oh, he died, so bad. Just after 1 hour, we are on TikTok, maybe. Okay, so it's very strange, But what is the benefit, What is the benefit of death? It helps you to value your life, right? You appreciate your life. It helps you to appreciate the people in your life, right? It helps you to be free from all those animosity, jealousy, all those anger, upset, hatred, all those irritability, that, because it has benefited. It's not like, and when those things goes away, you are happier, right? So death is making you happy, right? It really makes you happy. So when Buddha says reflect on death, it's not like making you sad, making you, upset, making you sadistic, somebody who is very negative about life. Oh, what is in their life? There's nothing in life. That Buddha is not saying. Okay, sometimes we mistake spirituality to have that kind of thing. Oh, nothing in life. Okay, there is nothing in life. Let me become a monk, as if monk has nothing in their life. So we take it very negatively sometimes, right? But no, death really connects us to our life. It really connects us with the people around in our life. Just imagine tomorrow your friend is going to die, maybe with cancer or something. Then imagine how much love you will have. You will cry, you will say good things, you will just hug them, you will just pat them on their back, and you will say, okay, yeah, I'm there for you, I'm going to come along if there is any possibility. So it's very powerful. Okay, so, and you can see the story that girl took it very as one of the practice. Surely she might have been practicing in the past life as well. That's the reason she could easily connect. So why she took it seriously? Because she might have been practicing that particular technique in the past as well. So in our spirituality also, some of the technique clicks with us, right? It helps. It just connects with us based on our own past experiences. So therefore, it is good to listen to different kinds of teaching, different kinds of technique. Even in meditation, there are different techniques of meditation, not just one. Today we did breath, then there is Maitri, like that. So death meditation is something that we all should do, especially when you are, say, you are being a little bit, you don't so much value your life, you're not valuing your life, or you are maybe wasting your time or maybe there are a lot of negative in your mind. So, so this is the reality. So we all have some or other form of negativity in our heart. We all have some or other problem going in our life, right? So if you don't have any problem, if you don't have any negative mind, then you need not come here, right? You need not listen to this teaching. But we all have, we all have. So that's the reason we all aspire to become enlightened. Enlightenment is this transformation of mind, especially those sublime, those ultra positive kind of mind to be developed, which is lying in the dormant level of our mind, which is there in the down state of our mind. So we need to bring that up. Okay, fine. So I think we conclude here today's come to the conclusion. So remember on death and try to do death meditation. It also helps you to cope with people who are beloved to you and they die, right? You might have, some of you might have experienced yourself, or you might have seen some of your friend or relatives or family members who find it very difficult to cope with the death of someone special or someone beloved. And I've seen, because you might have seen, sometimes it can be very traumatizing. It really breaks down, an individual very badly. And I've seen people getting hugely affected, and it almost end up them in a problem, in a state of mind that is, they are no more very normal, in the sense they get affected mentally. It goes to that stage also. So therefore, it is very important to also cope with such kind of instances. And I hope all of you do have beloved people in your life. If you do have, please check on death before it is too late. Okay? So this is the reality. Okay, so I think we can conclude here. So I thank all of you for coming, sitting here, listening to this Dhamma talk, and coming to this gathering. And this is every Sunday, 6 o'clock. So keep coming. Bring more ladies. And the number of ladies are lesser. It is the responsibility of all the ladies to increase the ladies' number as well. So you can come, all of you can come with your family, friends, and everybody is welcome. It's a good time for you to just reflect on your life and train yourself a bit, become more sensible, become more calm, so that you can perform well in your life. Okay, so they come. Okay, enlightenment is far, but at least we have to take care of our day-to-day happiness, and also eventually we grow toward enlightenment. Okay, so we wish all of you good health, happiness, and peace. May the blessing of Buddha Dhamma Sangha be with all of you, and may you all enjoy happiness. May all your wishes be fulfilled, and may you all progress on the path of Dhamma and achieve the ultimate happiness of Nibbana. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhan devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sothi bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba manga rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhamma sada sothi bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangala
Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Sanghanubhavena Sada Sodhye Bhavantu Te Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu